Alright, what's up? I'm going to ask you about ethical relativism. So what do you think about ethical relativism?
It's a good question. I have no idea.
It's like the understanding that some people have their own ethics and other people have their other ethics.
Yeah. What year is it?
What are you talking
What year is it right now? Tell me what year it is! What year is it?
2011.
What? No, it's not. What year is it?
It's 2011,
what?
bro.
What? Tell me what, dude. Tell me what year it is. Tell me what year it is.
What's up, UTD? This is the third episode of Down to Earth, and this episode is going to be on ethical relativism, which is what do you think about ethical relativism?
I'm sorry, what? I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what it is.
Ethical relativism, one word.
What was the word? Awesome.
Wait, what did you ask?
Ethical what? Tell me about ethical relativism.
Well, what do you think ethical relativism is?
I'm not actually sure how to define it. You mean like the definition in what context?
Let's work it out word by word. Okay, ethical. We gotta hold on that, right?
Ethical, having to deal with like the moral codes and standards of like a specific value system.
All right. Okay, that was good. All right, relativism.
Relativism is one thing comparatively speaking with another.
Put them together, and what do we got?
Dude, I already forgot. I mean, like
ethical relativism is defined as ethics that are kind of relative to each culture or each society's standards and circumstances. So therefore, there's no ethics that are really more right or more wrong than another set of ethics in an absolute sense. And I'm actually arguing against that. One of the main reasons I'm against ethical relativism is because a lot of times people will think that because ethics are relative, they think that they can choose and pick which ethics are relative to them. So they'll kind of follow their desires and under the guise of it being their own ethics or being their own code, that just because they don't like a certain code of ethics, they don't follow it. But it's really not about what you like and what you don't like, it's about what's right and what's wrong.
So yeah, there is absolute truth. Even if men will want to deny it and say there isn't, their conscience bears witness against them that there is.
Well, you're born with a set of moral codes. Like, you know what is right and what's wrong. Like, you should know.
I mean, that's the difference between human beings and animals. When a dog wants to poop, it poops. When a dog wants to eat, it eats. The difference between human beings and animals is that we choose how we follow our desires in accordance to what's ethically right. There are some times when we have to say that yes, there is an objective right and objective wrong. For example, we have to say no, the Holocaust was not okay, despite anybody who thinks it's right. And if they think it's right, then we have to stand up and say no, your thinking is wrong, and that there is an objective right and objective wrong. In fact, the true relativist position in actuality displays an inherent paradox, because if someone doesn't believe in objective wrong, then they can't say that someone believing in an objective wrong is wrong, because they don't believe in the concept of wrong.
People do have like their own decisions on what's right and wrong. I mean, that right now, I think like how everything is going, that's not something we can get around because people are too stubborn.
Ethical relativism isn't practical for a number of reasons. One, if all ethics are opinions that can be derived from some kind of culture, possibly a culture that could be wrong, like Nazi culture. If that's the case, then those ethics may not have meaning.
If you're sitting here saying this was right in this context at this time for these people and it can never be updated, then you're doing yourself, which more importantly, you're doing your audience a huge disservice. Because what you may define as a small group as this is our ethics, this is what we need to subscribe to, if it's not reaching a broader audience, if it's not, in line with the ideals of your audience, your group that you're serving, then, I think that's where you really have to analyze what are we doing and are we doing it effectively. And if you're not living your life by meaningful ethics, then you're either living your life by what emotionally convinces you or what you're being physically coerced to do. And if you're living a life that's you're either being emotionally or physically coerced, then you're not living a life of rationale where you have to think your way through things. Ethical relativism also isn't practical, for example, in a professional setting, because in the biomedical realm, physicians and doctors have to live by a certain medical code. So there has to be an agreed objective ethics that those people have to live their lives by in order for them to be successful with their job. If there's no structure, it's hard to really kind of, operate in any kind of professional setting.
So the reason why a lot of people hold the ethical relativism point of view is because we're in America, and often people will say things like, oh, your opinion can't be wrong, your ethics can't be wrong, we're in America, we have to tolerate each other. And because of this rhetoric of tolerance that's been shoved down our throat, because of this past of racism we had, and I would argue a present of racism that we often have the problem of accepting anything else that's even minutely deviant from tolerance, even when it's not practical. So we've fallen into this realm of impracticality when it comes to understanding ethics, just because we've been so used to tolerating other people's beliefs and ideas. That's not to say we shouldn't tolerate other people's beliefs. We need to all tolerate other people's beliefs. But when it comes to things like ethics that need to be objective in order for them to be practical, we need to make sure that those are for sure objective. And when people are wrong, we need to make sure to tell them that they're wrong, despite where they come from or what their opinion is.
It's kind of a touchy subject because everyone does have their beliefs, but your beliefs can be racist. That doesn't mean necessarily that they're right.
I think that rules are in place for a reason, and codes are in place for a reason, and we need to live by those codes and those ethics. And if we don't, that's when society crumbles, when everybody just lives by their own volition.
We're at the event of some kind of smashing event. I'm not really sure what's going on, some kind of car smashing event. We get a little closer to the action.
I think that we can agree culturally on a lot of things that are right or wrong, like punching babies or, that sort of, kicking nuns. I think that most people will agree that those things are pretty bad to do, but I think we do have to keep an eye out for things that some of us believe are wrong that are also, harmful for the greater society to consider to be wrong.
Just because ethics aren't relative doesn't mean we can't debate on what those ethics are. I'm not saying what the ethics are, I'm just saying that there is an objective right and an objective wrong. In fact, philosophical debate is what we should do in order to get those ethics, because in that case, we're using our rationale, and we're not being forced to think a certain way because of our emotions or because of some kind of physical coercion. Alright, so what I did this week for the show was I went around campus, and my friend and I set up a scenario where he would drop his wallet, and I would pick up the wallet, take the cash out, leave the wallet back down. He would come back for the cash, and we would know that someone was watching. Now, these people reacted in different ways. Some of them took it to the extreme.
Give him back his money!
Whoa, calm down.
Some of them pretended they didn't see anything. But you really didn't see it?
No, I didn't catch anyone in the act.
Oh, me stealing the money?
No.
Alright. But the majority of people did help my friend get his money back. So I made these scenarios to show that in this situation, there was an objective right and there was an objective wrong, and that's for you to judge as the viewer. So check it out.
There's no cash in it.
Yeah, there is.
Thank you for your help. We're filming a TV show?
Oh. Do you think there's an objective right now?
Yes. Alright, thank you for your help.
Oh, wow, you guys.
That went through your mind.
I was actually pretty mad. I thought that was messed up. I thought it was really messed up.
Yeah, he called you a douche. He's like,
Is there a right or wrong?
Yes. Yes, what you did is wrong.
Good. This is a joke, okay?
We're being punked?
Kind of.
We all have good and bad in us, but good people are generally people that have more good than bad.
I do. Sorry to work you up, man.
That's fine.
Appreciate it. Okay, so we're here at the Res Hall, and we're recording just so we can get a freshman perspective on the issue. So let's check it out what we got. Alright, sir, can I ask you a question real quick? Sir.